Can a video game be too realistic? What is up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a fun little video as we talk about two games out there, but one of which has now released, the other of which received a lot of controversial backlash months ago for potentially being too realistic. And the one that just released is actually based on that game. So let's get into it. As today we're talking about a freshly released early access game. So it's not fully released, but it is an early access for the price of $30 over on Steam, a game known as Bodycam, which has a really cool backstory despite its inspirations maybe being similarly tied to other games we've seen out there. It's been developed by two young brothers, which is all you can expect for like a true indie dev story, a 17-year-old and 20-year-old brother coming together to make a video game. You really can't beat that story. And with that story, the gameplay itself has spoken for itself and gone viral across all of social media. In case you guys have not seen the gameplay, well, this new body cam style, despite the name of the game literally being body cam, that whole body cam style of gameplay has taken off and does really well on social media. And the clips, I mean, we're talking about millions and millions of views, and maybe rightfully so. And so with the game in early access, I took a stab at this, and I will say definitely a unique style of gameplay meant for a unique part of the player base, more of your die-hard kind of like more of your die-hard type beat. I would say more of the Tarkov slash like real first-person shooters who, if you get shot once, you die type people, right? Your Escape from Tarkovs, your DayZ, those kind of peeps would love this game. But it certainly does not come without its own hiccups. I mean, this is an early access, I would say very much so work in progress just throughout my own time playing this game, and a warning for all of you guys, a lot of bugs, a lot of long wait times, long loading times, some server issues here and there. And then when the gameplay itself, is it my kind of game? Is it as smooth as I expected it to be? No, certainly not in my opinion. And this continues to drive the marketing and the talk around this game because some people on one side are like, hey, support your devs. They're 17 and 20-year-olds who early released this game to get some more funding, to continue to improve the project to what they want it to be. And on the flip side of that, there are some people out there that are also pissed off because they spent 30 bucks and it's not the game that it looked upon with the trailers and gameplay released. And I think I can agree with both sides here. As some people saying, very fun, but beware, it has its issues. Lobbies, performance, server stability. They have released 3 to 4 hotfixes and they do have a roadmap laid out for this year. It's still early access and has its issues. A game made by two devs who are 17 to 20. And someone else saying it's a $30 tech demo that barely functions, by the way. Don't give them your money, which received a lot of responses. People saying it's a work in progress. They need funds to make it better. It's a homegrown project from a small team. I love the vision. Don't think 30 bucks is asking a lot, and it will get better over time. Others saying support young creators. You sound miserable. Yo, when the game is worth at least 82, is that euros or pounds? I'm dumb, really dumb. 82 euro pounds, you definitely won't be saying the same thing. That's why it's released and remains in development. You play and give them your feedback and what needs to be improved, what isn't working, etc. They are indie developers. And this has split a lot of people out there, and I'm gonna give you guys my honest feedback. I don't think the game is currently, in its current state, worth $30. Do I hope with all the feedback and fixes that eventually it would be worth the initial price you paid, and that's the goal, to put money in now, and then eventually the product you get is worth it? Yes, but it's at your own risk. For me personally, I enjoyed it for a short period of time. I definitely enjoyed a lot of the voice comms. I had some crazy games myself. I'm not a crack gamer by any means, but it was fun. There was a lot of team killing. I will say they need to up the punishments for that. But whether you support this project or not, the reason why I'm making this video is, can a video game be too realistic? Because a lot of people actually got this game confused with one that was teased months ago and went even more viral. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of likes and tens of millions of views, and in my opinion was the first of this style to really go viral on social media. That was a separate project, not called Bodycam, but made by a separate indie dev called Unrecord. And it's a completely different game, still unreleased, if you guys remember the footage like this.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
And this was the game that looked, I would say, a bit better, more polished, and so realistic that it caused an entire outcry online. If an FPS or a shooter or a video game was this realistic, is this just leaning towards almost being too violent and too real that it's almost a danger for people of the younger generation or a younger age to actually be playing? And I don't know where you guys stood on this, but this was a massive debate. Like, there were people on both sides, both had their right reasons, and I'm usually where I am, right? I'm just like, oh God, like I don't know what to do. I just talk about this stuff. Because you had Trainwreck notoriously going viral for saying this, and he received a lot of flack, but also a lot of support. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but this level of realism in video games should be heavily moderated in shooters for anyone under a certain age. I hope parents do their job. This level of realism for shooting and killing makes me feel uncomfortable, as if I'm watching a real leak from a military or police operation. The clear distinction between real and fake is necessary, but this level of realism, in my opinion, gives real credibility to the nonsense politicians have been spewing for years about video games conditioning young people to lose a sense of empathy toward violent tendencies or situations. And at the time, I think I remember like understanding where he was coming from. He got a lot of flack because he is a giant gambling creator, so he is technically promoting gambling to a lot of the younger generation while also being very open about the dangers of gambling. It's very controversial stuff, right? There's going to be people on both sides of this argument, no matter who you are, and I'm not here to judge you, all right? You can think whatever you want about that take, but it brought to light some great points because that footage, it looked really real, and I can never imagine having a 6-year-old sit down to play a game like that, so some sort of age restriction I can certainly get behind. Now, on release of this game known as Bodycam though, and actually playing it more for myself, I didn't even think it was like that realistic, to be honest. I didn't think it was polished to the point where it was really that dangerous level of realism. And maybe that's just me. Maybe the next game of Unrecord, when it finally releases, will be too real, and it can be a discussion when that comes to date. But for now, we have this work in progress Bodycam game, which for me is not even close to being a full game yet, and not near that level of realism that maybe some people expected, and some people are a bit hesitant towards with the starting price if the project will ever reach those levels. I can tell you this though, the game of Unrecord continues development, and eventually when it does come out, will likely go viral again for maybe being too realistic of a first-person shooter. But until then, we're just stuck here talking about it, guys. So what do you think? Is it possible for a video game to be too real? It's definitely going to be a continued talking point. One of the videos I was really excited to talk about with all of you guys, and thank you all for the feedback. I will be reading those comments. All right, till next time, take care of yourselves. We'll see you back here tomorrow.